abound with credible polls, bank CEOs. This is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Terrorists struck because there is no security in station, witnesses. Electricity, TCN boosts wheeling capacity to 8,100 megawatts. Adjusted lifestyle that helps Nigerians survive 2022. That is a feature story there. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving now to the point. And the point is leading with this: insecurity, politicians a mad rush for bulletproof cars. There's the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Punch newspaper. It's Monday morning, and it comes with the riders. Companies make brisk business, run out of stock, protecting politicians. VIPs now deadlier for security operatives, human rights groups, experts. 2023 Global Outlook and Fortunes of Nigerian Investors. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Point newspaper. The Daily Trust is next. And the Daily Trust says insecurity festers despite Buhari's December deadline. 671 killed, 1,321 kidnapped since ultimatum. Attacks reduced in Kaduna, others. Southeast records highest killings of policemen. Experts help on intelligence gathering, community policing. The story is on the front page of the Daily Trust. We have other stories as well. Edo train attack, ex-police officer Nazim murders. Nazim murder, 3 others rescued. 32 abducted, 1 escapes, suspects arrested. Train service won't be disrupted. NRC. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this Monday morning. Next is This Day, and it's leading with this story on politics. It says INEC releases final list of presidential National Assembly candidates for polls. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of This Day newspaper, and it comes with the riders Akpabio, Nwoboshi, Machina, McLease. 4,223 candidates contesting for 469 federal legislative positions. 48 million out of the 93.5 million eligible voters are youth, Commission reveals. This is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of This Day newspaper. 32 passengers kidnapped by AK-47 wielding gunmen in Edo train station attack. Banks only authorized to dispense new bank notes via ATMs. CBN clarifies. These stories are on the front page of This Day newspaper. Next is the Nigerian Tribune. And the Nigerian Tribune is also leading with a story of the kidnap in Edo. It says 30 missing in Edo train station kidnapped, 2 children dropped, woman escapes, 1 suspect arrested. FG says security agency on trail of kidnappers. Obi calls for multi-layer policing. 2022 floods affected 24,714 persons in FCT agency. Still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, NDLEA intercepts drugs concealed in wooden capture. Notes no extension. January 21 deadline stays. CBN. 11 discos inaugurated, 199 billion naira in first quarter of 2022. Nigeria's trade surplus rises to $11.58 billion. These stories are on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Moving now to the Guardian newspaper, and it says search ongoing for 31 abductees in Edo State train station attack. And the New Telegraph is leading with this story. Presidency endorsement takes center stage, weeks to polls. Debate over Obasanjo's work on familiar path still raging. Tinubu Atiku continue attack An ex-president, eminent citizens may not sway voters. Okorie. These stories are on the front page of the New Telegraph. Old Naira notes withdrawal by January 31 counterproductive. Ndume. Shun evil predictions ahead of general polls. Sanwo-Olu tells residents at Thanksgiving service. These are some of the stories on the front page of the New Telegraph. The leadership is next, and is leading with this: insecurity, defense headquarters MAM, as military fails to meet FG's December deadline. Experts laud troops, says government made political statement. 19 wanted terrorists still at large. Trial of Boko Haram suspect resumed March. These stories are on the front page of the leadership newspaper. Oil firms face capital challenges as clean energy funding hits $580 billion. FG shut down Edo train station over abduction of 30 passengers. Elections will hold in all 774 local government areas. INEC declares. Article in UK on British government's invitation, campaign cancelled. These stories are on the front page of the leadership newspaper. And the blueprint is the last, but not the least. And it says investigation, POS operators, banks, fuel stations, real estate gainers of cashless policy. And politicians, bank staff, petty traders on the losing side. We get cash from politicians for transaction, POS operators. Very limited workers will be needed across counter bank staff. CBN never factored rural populace into its policy, SAN. Nigerians bemoan scarcity of new notes. These stories are on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Yes, I have my regular guest in the house this morning who will be analyzing some of these stories for us. Dr. Ian Candice, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right, we're starting from the Punch newspaper this morning, later with the story on a Edo train attack. It says soldiers, police, vigilantes track abductors. 31 passengers missing.
This is one kidnapped two men through the rail. You see, I've been telling some people we should change the narrative. Usually when this happens, we blame government. Fine, I've also blamed government for not doing enough. It's like government is reactive rather than being proactive. They do something after it has happened. But let us talk to these people kidnapping. What do they stand to gain? So people are just bent in destroying this country, in the bit of destroying the government. So they don't like the government of the day. Therefore, they will do something that will not put government in the good stead with the people. But they are destroying this country. And that's my grouse. I'm not happy. You see, we have these centrifugal and centripetal forces. These centrifugal forces are the one putting this country in serious disarray. They are bent, I repeat, on the fact that this country does not progress, does not move forward. Let us talk to them. Rather than, we will talk to government, right? But let's talk to both ends. People don't talk to them at all. So this thing is now aggravating this issue. It's now encouraging these people to go ahead and continue to kidnap people because they know nobody will talk to them. They will always talk to the government. Let us appeal to them. In Yoruba, they say Ebelambo Shika. I mean, you cannot continue to designate and put things in not a proper mood for this country. It's not proper at all. Okay. They should stop this.
Now, one of the witnesses said there was not a single security officer at the station.
That's what I'm talking about. That government has not done. Government is reactive. Even if you go to Osogbo train center here, you will get around 7, 8. The place is there's a police post there, but the place will be dark. You will not, if anything happens, maybe that's when they will not be rushing. The point we are saying is that government should see whatever to get enough personnel as far as police is concerned. I don't think they have enough personnel to put them in normal places that would have expected security to be. They should employ more policemen.
Okay, let's look at the bulk of the money that we're using building this well and purchasing the facilities with borrowed from China.
Exactly, that's my point.
If government is borrowing this huge amount of money on behalf of the country and building facilities that will not be trusted, by Nigerians. Don't you think that, engaging in partnership, private partnership to actually run the rail system would have been better?
Now, whether you engage in PPP or not, we have serious infrastructural deficit in this country. Not only here, most third world nations, they don't have infrastructures. Nigeria is trying to do whatever it could to build infrastructure. Can you see what's happening in Lagos State? We should give kudos to people of Lagos for resonating with Lagos. Maybe perhaps because it's only one party that has been in charge from inception. Maybe that's why. But Lagos is progressing, and people are not doing things to maybe bomb the rail and stuff like that. Now, Lagos has gone a little bit high by going to rail. You must have heard of blue line rail and red line. It's only Lagos that's doing that. The federal government has not even moved to that level. They are kidnapping people in the rail. I kept saying this. Some people do not want this country to move. Even if the PPP you are even suggesting, even if it goes there, some people will even put something to make sure that this thing does not go. You mentioned that we borrowed money. Why wouldn't we borrow money? In fact, it is expected that we should borrow money for infrastructural, to take care of infrastructural deficit, because you have to look at cost-benefit analysis. The cost of borrowing and benefit realizable. Benefit will always outweigh the cost, because this country must move forward. So I agree with you to an extent that PPP, fine, but let us talk with the people who are destroying the infrastructures. It's not right.
All right, thank you very much. The blueprint, I'm taking the next story from the Blueprint newspaper. Please, let's have it on the screen. It said investigation, POS operators, banks, fuel stations, real estate, and are gainers of cashless policy.
Yes.
It's kicking off today.
Yes, it's kicking off today.
The CBN says the new notes will only be found in the ATM.
And that's what they said before, but it was denied. I read in one piece that CBN has denied that it will be available both OTC and ATM. That's over the counter. You can go there and collect. I was very happy. The first news I had was that it's going to be ATM alone. It doesn't make sense. Not everybody have access to ATM. That's what you read now, that ordinary people in the street will not have access. But for this thing to go around, I think OTC must be included, and it has been included now. It's starting today. From today, I will not expect any bank to pay out old note from today. If old note goes in, new note should come out. That's the only way. We are watching. We want to see that happen.
Okay. If old note goes in, new note should come out. Now, from what the CBN is saying, the new notes that will be the ATM will be lower denominations.
I support that. It's going to be 200 naira.
Yes. And below.
You see, if we don't do this, God forbid. I was discussing somewhere on Saturday. They were suggesting I should probably have not kidnapped. I said, I won't be kidnapped. They said these people will be demanding for either new notes or dollars. I said, except they want to keep people. CBN knows what it's doing. If this thing is too available, some people will kidnap just to have a go at that new note. But if it is scarce, you understand what I'm trying to say? It means that, except you want to kill somebody, they won't have as much as they would have wanted to give. So I think that's what the policy is trying to address. But with that as it may, if you go abroad now, do you know that larger denominations are not even brought out of ATM in other clients? You get lower. A friend told me that I just brought out 100 pounds, and they were looking at him as if he's from another planet, just because they wanted to buy something with 100 pounds. Because it's not that easy. But 1,000 is as available as anything. So that's what the CBN is trying to do. I think I agree to that.
All right. So politicians, bank staff, petty traders on the losing side. How is that so?
It's so because you see, this thing is not available as much as one would have expected. You know, this idea of 20,000 naira per day, which has moved to 100, it's only the big men. That, even as I speak with you, Oluchi, I cannot withdraw 20,000 naira per day, let alone 100. Where will I get it from?
So this story is actually on the front page of the Blueprint. Okay, we have it there. Yet you cannot withdraw because one of those that are doing business.
That's they are doing business. You are supposed to make transfers.
Oh, okay.
You see, it's cashless, we call it. You see that what CBN is trying to do is that it's trying to see that we should not transact with cash, but we can transfer with transfers. If you want to buy anything, you don't have to go to the extent of spending cash.
Okay.
As long as you can do it.
Now, somebody else is saying that the CBN never factored rural populace into its policy.
That's why I
Now,
agree.
the rural populace, you go to the bush market, you want to get something. The person you're buying something from doesn't have a bank account. So,
Rural populace are poor people now. You see, it's these elites that are shouting all this. They are shouting because it's affected
they are
them. They
poor
are not-
people, they do not need a new note.
They need new law. I've said it now that from today it will get there. But what I'm saying, they don't need as much money as the elites would have wanted.
You
They need
actually think so?
the meaning of cashless means turn it around, less cash.
Okay.
We are not saying we should not transfer with cash, but less. Anything that will go high, do transfers. What it will bring is this: it will not encourage people to go and open accounts. You know, these rural people you are talking about, they do not have bank account. We want transaction to pass through the system. Now, let's get it down this way. In some parts of Osun State now, there are no banks. Maybe you are aware.
Exactly.
Okay, you are going
I was
there.
coming to that. Yes.
There are no banks.
Yes.
There won't be banks. In fact, as we move on progressively in banking business, we are going to have less of physical banking place. But banking business will continue with your phone, with POS, with ATM. We don't need these physical structures, honest. Because banking is a business. It's not a hospital where you have to go with yourself to go there. You can transfer. So all those people who are saying they don't have banks, they may not have banks, but they will still be transacting without having physical presence of banks. So there will be less physical presence of bank. The banking business will be hyped.
All right, banking business will be. And now Nigerians be more scarcity of money. Is it not too early? Since
For me, it's too early. It's starting today.
Mm.
Let's start counting from today. You know, I said it.
Okay, let's start counting today. INEC releases final list of presidential National Assembly candidates for poll, and it says 48 million out of the 93.5 million eligible voters are youth.
Yes. Let's hope those youths who have it will go to vote. Yes, they are youths, right? But don't think that the youth will go for one political party or for
Okay.
one presidential candidate. They will be spread. Because people are thinking that they are targeting one presidential candidate. I disagree. Some of them will go the other way. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You don't, even in football, you don't say a team will have only all the fans will support only one thing. It's spread out. That's how it should be in political climate too.
All right, the Punch newspaper said politicians in mad rush for bulletproof cars.
Can you imagine? For me, only God saves. No amount of bulletproof car can save you. Make sure you are clean with the way you do things. Get your conscience cleared and move on. To buy bulletproof does not save you. It is what you do. It's your interpersonal relationship that gives you strength to go to wherever you want to go. Not bulletproof. It won't help you. Ẹgbẹ̀rún Sàámú, as we say in Yoruba. Sàámú lọ.
All right, the Vanguard says economy will rebound with credible polls, bank CEOs.
I agree. If the poll is credible, if you put our conscience, if we put somebody we feel should put this country forward, definitely it will be credible and we'll move forward. Not on sentiment. We should not vote on sentiment.
All right, not vote on sentiment. Rivers bars Atiko's campaign from public schools.
I don't understand. River is PDP state. What's the focus on Atiku? Obviously, it's the G5. It's the G5 issue. So whether we like it or not, we want to see how this will play out. Because Wike is bent on saying that he will not campaign for Atiku until he does the expected. And he's not ready to do it.
Okay, the Punch newspaper says electricity consumers demand new tariff reversal.
Yes, there has been back and forth on this. The Disco said they have not increased the tariff, but people paying said they have increased.
It's been increased.
So, but it's now being suggested that they should reverse it. That shows an increase has come. I want to totally align with those who say it should be reversed. Where's the money? Sometimes you even pay, you don't get the light. So they should reverse it.
All right, agent protest as custom hike imported vehicle duty.
See, the problem with custom is this: they have been given limit of what to. You know, they are part of revenue generation.
Yes.
So they have increased their law. They have raised the bar for them. So they are seeing every possible way by which they could raise revenue. That's why this has happened. So you can't blame them.
Okay, FG pays 4.12 trillion naira interest on CBN loan.
And because you see, when we talk about loan, some people don't know that we have domestic loan, we have foreign loan, we take loan from here and there. That CBN, it must be paid. It does not mean that maybe it's within. We have to pay, whether we like it or not. So I agree with that.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Winkandi, for making it to the program this morning. This is where we'll be saying our bye on today's edition of Newspapers Today. Thank you for always being there. My name is Oluchi Amuda. Keep enjoying the rest of our programs. Good morning.
adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Àtaọ̀jà àti bàbá wa Tìmì fún àtẹ̀jáde tí wọ́n gbé jáde láti fi hàn pé àwọn